Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I thought I'd share kind of the makeup 2022 makeup favourites / kind of new discoveries. So I thought I'd show all the kind of new makeup I tried throughout the year and my thoughts and how much I enjoyed them, whether I've used them a lot, and then just in general my favourite makeup products of 2022 as well. A lot of them will be ones from like previous years, but I have actually got a fair few new products that I tried this year, which will be fun to share. A lot in the blush category actually, so that's good. But yeah, if you're interested then please keep on watching. So I'm actually going to start off with more of a skincare product. So this is like aloe vera gel. This is 100% pure organic and natural aloe vera. This is my second tub of this. I got this only back in the summer. But I really enjoyed it. It's a real, you don't need much of this. So this is kind of a relatively new tub I've got here. I just take like this much. But this is really nice. I use it day and night. It's a really nice thin texture, but it's really nice and moisturising. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. And especially actually if you do it for makeup, it does give a slight tacky feel for a time, so it's quite nice for putting under makeup in general, but it does feel really nice and hydrating. It's really soft on the skin, so if you've got sensitive skin, this is really nice. And yeah, I just really enjoy it for more just really hydrating the skin, adding softness, and it helps kind of heal the skin as well a little bit. So yeah, I purposely got in summer because there was one day I was at my parents' and I did accidentally get a bit burnt, and this came in handy. But in general this is just really nice, just for all over the face, like a real nice kind of douse of hydration. Whilst I let that soak in, I'm actually going to go in with a lip product next. So this was part of my little elf little haul I did. This is like a little lip duo that I picked up. There was another lip product as well, but that accidentally went through the washing machine, so it's not in the best condition at the moment, so we'll ignore that. But I picked up the elf Cookies and Cream lip scrub, and also one of their Jelly Pop lip glosses. Now this lip scrub's really nice. I've used it more recently where my lips have been a lot drier. I think just down to obviously a slightly colder month. But you don't need to kind of rub it on the lips for too long, and it does really get rid of any dead skin, and it has a nice kind of moisturising feel afterwards. So yeah, so I haven't talked about it much in videos, so it's kind of more my prep before I do makeup, or if I've just got generally really dry lips, but I really enjoyed that. And then actually, again, not mentioned much on here, I use this quite a lot for an everyday purpose. Although it looks quite pink in the tube, I think this is the shade Brilliant Pulpex. I use this more for like a balmy lip gloss because it's got an unusual texture. It's quite thick but not sticky. I use it a lot on an everyday basis, and if you ever see me start a video with a real glossy lip, this is the product that I've used, just because I find it so hydrating on the lips. So there's a little bit of a tint to it, but nothing heavy, and the glitter isn't that noticeable, so it's kind of what makes it really nice for an everyday purpose for me. But yeah, it's just a nice way of really hydrating the lips, because it does really hydrate, and it just makes them look quite nice. It's quite a nice subtle gloss. Like I said, it's a bit thicker in texture but not sticky, and yeah, I really like it for an everyday purpose. So this kind of use, even though it's more of a lip gloss type thing, I kind of use it more for lip balm purposes, and it works really well. Okay, back to face. So I literally only picked this up a couple of weeks ago. I think I only used it in my Use Eve look recently, but this is the elf Hydro Grip Primer. So a relatively new product to me still. So I'm still kind of playing with it, seeing how I feel, but so far I'm really enjoying it. It works really nicely kind of in the T-zone, especially if you're someone who is oily like me in the T-zone. This will work really nicely. I've tried the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, which I really like. I think I prefer this one more. It feels probably the same level of tackiness, which is great because it makes your makeup like kind of stick on and last well. But I find it a lot more hydrating than the Milk one. Like my skin, it feels really hydrating, although it feels tacky. Like you can tell it's hydrated. It feels very smooth, which I really like. So yeah, only a couple of weeks playing with this one, but I feel it's going to be a nice addition to my collection. Admittedly, I don't prime every day. It's kind of more like I did it for the New Year's Eve look. If I want to do like a glam look, want it to last, or if it's a makeup look I need to last all day, then I'll go into prime. For an everyday basis, I don't tend to wear primer. Kind of the aloe vera gel is enough. But yeah, I really like this one. Again, like I said, very tacky for makeup to last well, but really hydrating. So I really like that. So starting off some very hydrating products actually, which is always good. Okay, so next is the e.l.f. Halo Glow filter. So I use this under foundation, but also on top as like a liquid highlight, as well as, yeah, like I said, underneath the foundation. I think I've used this in pretty much every video since I've had this. I think I got it back in the summer. I do have my in the shade Fair 1. It's not the lightest shade. I mean, it is in the collection, but if you compare it to my skin tone, it is quite dark. But I think because it's quite a light coverage product, I can kind of get away with it. I'd say if you're much fairer than me, this potentially won't work, which is a real shame because it's a real nice dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. And I love using this on an everyday basis because it gives you that skin, that nice glow, and it has got a smidge of kind of a coverage, so it kind of helps to even out skin tone. It won't cover, like my skin is having a bit of a breakdown moment from all the indulging over Christmas and New Year's, so it won't cover that, but it will do, it does give a nice even finish to the skin, which I think is really nice. Like I said, I think I've used this in every makeup video that I've done, either as an all over kind of underneath the foundation to create that glow, or I've used it kind of to more pinpoint, highlight the tops, the cheekbones and the temple areas. But I really, really enjoy this. I'm just going to take a little coffee break. You let me know what your favourites of 2022, you let me know what your favourites of 2022 have been, and any new discoveries as well, and whether you've enjoyed the new products that you've tried. Okay, I haven't got any foundations that are new to me for this year, so I am just going to use one of my favourites, which is the Hint Beauty Concealer in Fair. I think I've pretty much run out of my Lily Lolo Cotton foundation, because that would also be in here. You've seen me use these products multiple times. They've appeared in multiple favourite videos of the year. I can't think how many pots of this that I've picked up, but I say for a good 4 years I've been using this, and I still really love it, both for its actual concealing purposes, but also as a foundation as well. And like I said, the Lily Lolo Cream Foundation in Cotton, a good couple of years I've been loving that as well. So foundation wise, there's been nothing new. So there was a new concealer that I did try this year, and unfortunately it's probably the one product here that I didn't enjoy, and it's a real shame. It's from Lily Lolo, which if you've watched me for a while you know is one of my favourite brands ever. And yeah, I had mine in the shade Voila. And yeah, it's a nice cream concealer. I thought it'd be nice because I really love the cream foundation. And the annoying thing is, when you first applied this, it looks so pretty on the skin. For me, this just didn't wear very well throughout the day, and it looked really cakey. And I think I tried it kind of with foundation, without foundation. I'm sure I set it, didn't set it, and there was just no combination that worked well. And I think it was a chin area that was in particular just did not sit well. Under the eyes, not too bad. but the chin area it did not wear well at all. Like I said, it was a shame because when you first applied it, it looked really pretty on skin. It just, for me, didn't wear too well. I will use it because we are talking about kind of new products of 2022 as well as my favourites, and like I said, unfortunately this was one that just didn't work for me, which is a shame because not many things from Lily Lello don't work for me. I'm just going to tap this in. God, it's so annoying because it sits so beautifully on the skin to begin with. But yeah. Just get rid of this beast down here as well. And coverage wise, pretty good as well. Which is again very frustrating because it just doesn't wear very well. No, I'm not going to use that e.l.f. product again for highlights. I think there's enough glow going on. So we're going to move on to no new bronzers this year. And to be honest, at this time of year, I don't really wear bronzers, so I'm going to skip that. Blushes, on the other hand. So I think I tried 6 new blushes this year. Technically 3 brands, but then one of them I got multiple shades of. So we'll start with the e.l.f. Putty Blush. So I got this in Maracaibo, Bora Bora. Yeah, because I really just wanted a bubblegum pink. Now, it looks not so great in the pan right now because all the foundation is in there. But it is a really nice, yeah, bubblegum pink. It's, if you're not someone who is that keen on creams, this is a nice in-between because it sets quite nicely as well. It's not too creamy. It's kind of got enough movement to be able to apply, blend, but it sets quite nicely. So yeah, if you're not a fan of cream as such but want to give it a go, this is quite good because, like I said, it does set itself, which is quite nice. So yeah, just a nice bubblegum pink. I think I've got my lights too bright. That's better. So yeah, pretty bubblegum pink, which is really nice. Then I also got the Rare Beauty, one of the blushes from them in Joy. Again, I got this in the summer, so I wanted like a nice coral shade. There are 2 more shades I really want to try of the Rare Beauty, kind of a real baby pink one, plus this beautiful fuchsia shade. But yeah, this is Joy. So this is much more of the orange coral shade, which is something I really love in a blusher, especially summertime. This is really pretty. 1 dot is all you need because it's a very, very pigmented blusher, and I definitely recommend using the same brush you use for foundation or your base products to blend in. It'll just help really well. But yeah, only 1 dot you need because a lot goes a long way with this product, which is a great thing because it means it's going to last you for an amount of time. But I really like this. Lasts really well on the skin as well. So I think the blushes all round I've been really enjoying. And the final ones are the Lily Lello new lip and cheek tints. So I don't really use them for the lip tint, to be honest. I use them more for blushes, for the cheeks. Now, there are 4. I cannot for the life of me find Poppy. I think I mentioned this before, which Poppy was more the kind of coral toned, which again is one of my favourite shades. But I've also then got Dahlia, which is the more nude, neutral shade. I think kind of when I did the video on these, this seemed to be everyone's kind of one they would go for. Azalea, which is much more of a deeper berry shade, really pretty. And then Peony, which is more of the pinky, rosy shade. Now, like I said, I've lost Poppy. Poppy would have been the one that I probably would have used the most out of the 4 of these. But as I haven't had it, the one I've actually used the most, and you would have seen it in quite a few videos, is Peony, the pink one. I've been really enjoying using this. Yeah, because it's a real pretty pink, rosy tone, quite nice and light. You can really build these up as well, actually. You can go very subtle with these, or you can kind of really build them up, especially with Azalea, because it's a bit more of a deeper berry. Start off with a little amount and build up because it is really pretty. I will just do a little quick. So we've got, yeah, Azalea, so a nice kind of deeper berry shade. We've got Peony, which is the pinky one, which I've been using the most at the moment, and probably the one I'll apply for today. And then Dahlia, which, yeah, is much more of the neutral, softer tone out of the three. And then I would swatchy Poppy, but absolutely no idea where that's gone. So I will go in with Peony Sticks. I think out of all of them, that's been my most used and my most favourite shade. So we'll take that one. So I'd say actually out of the three formulas, this is definitely the creamiest. So again, you don't need a lot of this. It is quite pigmented, and I still use the same brush as I use for my foundation and base. I just find it really helps with any cream product, to be honest. It helps with the blending process. But yeah, but a really pretty pink shade, and you can kind of really build it up as well if you want to. Like I said, I haven't really used these much for the lips, which obviously you can do. So I probably should take more advantage of matching lips and cheeks. But yeah, so you can see I've built that up quite nicely. But I just prefer using them more for the cheeks. I'd love for them to bring out more shades of these, because I'd happily pick them up. So the 4 shades are the only 4 shades they've currently got in that range. I guess it was just kind of test out, see what people thought. But I'd love for them to bring out more shades, because there's definitely a lot more they can do with that. A lot more kind of variety of shades, a lot more deeper shades they could do. So hopefully they bring out more shades. Okay, so moving on to brows. So in terms of what I fill my brows in with, there's nothing new there. I still am loving my ABH kind of brow duo in Auburn. In particular the shade, the darker shade, as you can probably tell. So I'll just go ahead and fill those in. And I still use my Luxie little angled brush for this. So let's go ahead and just fill that in. Okay, and then the product for brows that is new to me for this year is the Kosas Air Brow, and I got mine in clear. I really, really enjoyed this. I'm surprised it's still going. There's still a fair amount of product in there. It doesn't look as nice anymore, because obviously where I've put it through the brow powder and then dunked back in, it's got a bit of a funny colour, but it works really nicely. You don't get too much on the brush, which I really like. And you can just brush through the brows. It's quite a nice small brush, and it really does hold the brows in place, but also brings the brow hairs back to life a little bit if you've gone a bit too heavy with whatever product you used before. I think I would like to try the tinted version next, for kind of more for those days when I don't put any other product on the brow and I purely want to use just the gel. I think because my brows are quite light naturally in comparison to my natural hair colour, for an everyday purpose, I think actually a tinted one would look quite well. So I might have a look at picking up this again, but like one of the tinted ones, a nice tinted brown one. But yeah, I really like that. A few strokes through, that's all that's needed, not too many going back and forth in. So like I said, it's lasted me quite some time. And yeah, I really, really like that. Okay, next product is not new, but definitely a favourite of mine. I use it in every video, and it's the Lily Lolo Eye Primer. Like I said, I've gone through quite a few of these now over the years. I think I must have been using this for, what, 3-4 years as well. Still my favourite. It's a nice creamy consistency. It gives enough coverage to kind of give a blank canvas. It's not drying on the eyes. And yeah, I personally find eyeshadow works really nicely at the top of this. Okay, I'm going to zoom you in a little bit and we're going to move on to eyes. Okay, so eyes. So actually I tried 3 new palettes this year, which is quite a lot for me. I usually just do the 1 palette a year. The first one being the e.l.f. little quad, which I got with the other e.l.f. products. This was in the shade Cream and Sugar. It's a really nice kind of easy palette to use. You've got your 2 neutrals, your 2 shimmers, There's not too much you can do with this palette, but for an easy everyday look, this is quite nice. Not too bad formula wise either. The next palette was the Beauty Bay's Nude Matte palette, which I used for that little series of kind of keeping it neutral. And this was actually a really lovely palette. Obviously I got it with the intent of just showing how creative and how many looks you can do with purely neutral shades. So I kind of got it so there'd be one palette to use over the entire series. But I've used it since. It's a really nice palette. I feel you've got a nice mix of the kind of cooler and warmer toned neutral shades. You've got a nice grey, a black, very pigmented black, so be careful with that if you try this palette. A little definitely goes a long way. They all blend really nicely together, and yeah, for a neutral palette, just 9 shades, I think that's all you need, and it's a real good palette, and the formula is really well, blends really nicely, so I really enjoyed using that. And the final one was the ABH Rose Metals, or Metal Rose palette, Rose Metals palette. This one here, it's a lot more of a party palette because you've got the very nice shimmers. You kind of got a mix of metallics and then the multi-dimensional shimmers, and then a couple of mattes in there as well. I think Haze is definitely my favourite out of this palette. It is just a stunning shade, and I used it for New Year's Eve in the end. But yeah, a real nice mix of kind of, you've got your slightly more neutrals, your rosy tones, and some real nice shimmery metallics in there as well. So I've got a lot of use out of this palette, and definitely still will do. I think for this I'm going to put the e.l.f. to one side because it's not really one I use a lot. It's not one of my kind of better palettes that I've got, but I think it's really nice for kind of travel size, for an everyday look. It kind of works well enough, but we're going to focus on these two because these two definitely were great palettes. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Nude Matte palette to get some kind of base going, to get some transition shades going. I'm going to start off with Slow Motion. I'm going to take it on quite a fluffy brush, and I'm going to pop this onto the outer portion and kind of buff it up into the crease. Yeah, so I found these Beauty Bay eyeshadows really easy to work with. They blend really nicely. So, yeah, really good. Okay, I'm going to take actually some of Raw Sienna next. I'm just going to go over those edges, add a little bit of warmth to it because that Slow Motion is quite a cool tone brown. And then we're going to add a little bit of warmth to it with Raw Sienna. I'm going to go in with After Dark now and really kind of deepen up the outer portions. So I'm using a much denser brush to kind of real pack that pigment on. I'm actually going to pick up some of Slow Motion now. That's same, actually a bit of Slow Motion and Cinnamon. Same brush, and I'm going to use that to start blending it out slightly. And what we'll do is go back in with the fluffy brush, take some more of Cinnamon and actually Raw Sienna, mix the two, kind of just do a nice blend. Kind of real buff out that darker shade into the crease. And then one final little blend from this palette. I'm going to mix Nothing Else and Bare Necessity and just do one last final blend at the edges, and then we'll move on to the Rose Metals palette and start adding some shimmer to it. Obviously the mattes in the Rose Metals are really pretty, but just in order to demonstrate both palettes I thought I'd make use of the mattes and neutrals in this shade. Okay, so moving on to the Rose Metals. Like I said, Haze is definitely my favourite, but I've used that quite a lot recently. So I'm going to go into Nova, which is the nice khaki green, on my finger. And these kind of multi-dimensional ones definitely work well with the finger. And actually what I'm going to do is take the fluffy brush, pick up some more Nova, and just use that just to bring the shimmer a little bit up into the crease, but a bit more diffused. Because I do like bringing kind of shimmers a little bit further up. I think it works really nicely. It's just a little bit. So when the light catches that inner portion, you can see that shimmer nicely. And then we're going to take, in a pencil brush, I'm going to take some Heavenly. It's a real pretty kind of inner corner highlight, and I will use it for brow bone as well. So take it on a fluffy brush, just a little bit of dusting. And what I will do whilst I'm here, I'm going to just do something along the lower lash line. I'm going to keep it slightly softer, so I'm going to go Noble from this palette and just drag it. So it's a bit more of a lighter, warmer brown. Nothing too harsh. No new mascara, so I'm going to use my favourite, which is the Lily Lolo Big Lash, just to give some real nice volume to the lashes. And again, I think I'm going through about 3 or 4 of these because I really enjoyed this mascara. Okay, so moving on to the lips. Like I said, I've kind of showed you 2 products that I've already kind of were new to me this year that I've been enjoying. I think the final 4, again, are Lily Lolo. So when they, when I saw the lip and cheek tints, they also had new shades of lipstick out, perfect for more the summertime. So we had Mi Amour, which was a beautiful pinky shade, kind of, well, not quite fuchsia, but like a softer fuchsia. We have Flushed Rose, which again, as you'd hear, it's quite a nice soft pink. Actually, that kind of matches the Peony blusher shade. We've got Coral Crush, which I think I was most excited to try because I don't really have a tone like this in my collection. I do like coral shades, especially for summer. And finally was Flirtation, which is very kind of very soft, muted red shade. So yeah, a very nice, more wearable red tone there. I really like these. These are part of their vegan range. I think they got rid of their natural ones, so it's all the vegan range now. So really nice formula, nice pigmented, but also nice and creamy as well. Hydrating. They are a glossy one, not matte, so they will start to fade if you eat and drink and stuff, but they fade really nicely. I really do enjoy them. I think for this look, I'm probably going to keep it quite soft. So Mi Amour's definitely out. I'm going to say Flirtation is out. And then it's between Flushed Rose and Coral Crush. I actually quite fancy doing Coral Crush with this. I mean, Flushed Rose is going to match the blusher. But then I quite like orangey coral tones with greens. So let's go with Coral Crush. And if I think it's not quite right, then I'll switch out to the Flushed Rose. But I think it'll look quite pretty. No new lip liners. And to be honest, I'm just going to go without a lip liner for this. Okay, so that's Coral Crush. I actually think maybe Flushed Rose might look better with this, but I'll show you what it looks like with this shade on, and I'll switch it up. But yeah, like I said, I really love coral shades, so I didn't really have this kind of shade in my collection. So when I saw this shade, I was really excited for it, and yeah, like I said, more for summer, this is a really pretty shade to go for, but I think I am going to switch to Flushed Rose for this look. Okay, and that is the shade Flushed Rose. So really nice and creamy, like I said, they're very pigmented. lipsticks as well. Now I did actually get a new glossy product as well. So this is the Kosas lip oil, and this is in the shade Fruit Juice, so a nice kind of more fuchsia pink. I did have their clear one in Jellyfish, and I've got the Jewels, which is red. Now I don't think this is going to quite match what I'm going to do, so I won't pop this on now. But again, these I use more for summer, just because of the colours. Yeah, it's a nice, yeah, like magenta, fuchsia pink. But really nice on the lips. I tend to, you can wear this by itself, but I do tend to put like a little bit of a lip liner or a lipstick underneath, just to get a nice kind of opaque colour, and then pop this on top. If you want more of a translucent touch of colour, then use it all by itself. It's a really nice non-sticky oil, and yeah, really pretty shade. So that is another product that I tried this year. But yeah, I don't think it will quite match this look, so I'm going to leave that to one side. And I'm going to leave it completely unglossy because I think we're probably all sick and tired of me using Lily Lolo's Whisper Lip Gloss, even though that is one of my all-time favourites. But I will give that one a miss for today, just because A, I don't think it actually goes with this lip colour, and B, I use it in every single video as it is, so I'll give you a bit of a break from that. But that is this video complete. So those are kind of all the products I tried in 2022, and what I thought of them, and plus some of my just general favourite products as well, that you would have seen multiple times from me. So I really hope you enjoy this video. Like I said, leave me your kind of favourite products of the year, what you've tried and what you thought of them, and what you would like to try in 2023. So Kosas foundation I'd really love to try, and actually also the kind of setting spray version from e.l.f. of this I'd quite like to try, because I don't really do setting sprays often, but I saw, she's not Soph Does Nails anymore, she's just Soph I think, and she used it, and nothing moved, nothing budged, and I think more for like longevity purposes and like evening looks and stuff, that could be really beneficial, not for an everyday purpose. I don't think it's needed, but I am intrigued by it. So those are kind of two products I got my eye on for the new year. So let me know what you're kind of intrigued by. And just leave any future requests for videos down below as well for the new year. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave any requests for future videos down below, and I'll see you all in my next video.